Καλώς ήρθατε στο The Parents We Become. Έναν χώρο όπου πλάθουμε την καθημερινότητά μας, μιλάμε αληθινά και βρίσκουμε τρόπους να μεγαλώσουμε και εμείς, όχι μόνο τα παιδιά μας. Είμαι η Κύρα, μαμά, παιδαγωγός και εκπαιδεύτρια γονέων, όπου πιστεύει ότι η σύνδεση βρίσκεται μέσα στις μικρές καθημερινές στιγμές. Και όπου και αν βρίσκεσαι τώρα, στην απίστευτη κίνηση στο αυτοκίνητο, στον καναπέ σου το βράδυ ή σε ένα μικρό διάλειμμα στη δουλειά, εκμεταλλεύσου αυτόν τον χρόνο και ας κάνουμε αυτό το ταξίδι μαζί. Η σημερινή μας καλεσμένη είναι ένας πολύ αγαπημένος άνθρωπος, ο οποίος έρχεται από τη μακρινή Φινλανδία, οπότε θα ξεκινήσω να μιλάω στα αγγλικά. So let's switch to English. So it's a huge pleasure and I'm very happy to have you here, Nora. So today I have someone very special for me, except of a very good friend of me. You are a person whose role inside of the Finnish educational system I admire deeply. So Nora is a study and career counselor in a Finnish high school, someone who doesn't just help students to choose a job, in my eyes, but helps them also understand themselves. So welcome and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And for those who don't know you, who are you? Can you tell us? And what led you to the world of study and career counseling?
Hi everybody, my name is Nora Hoskonen and I'm from Finland and I live in Tampere, where I actually met Kira too. We were working in the same school at the time. But yes, I'm a career counselor and also do some supervision and guidance of compulsory education in our municipality in Nokia. I'll tell you about it a little bit more later on. But how did I become a career counselor? To be honest, I actually studied business at first, and I was thinking that I should do something on that. I should be a salesperson or something like that. But then I actually realized that I don't want to work with numbers my whole life, and it had a lot of pressure and such. So I thought that I could do something meaningful to the community and everybody, and which could help people in their lives. So first I was thinking teaching, but then I thought, no, I don't want to do that because I don't know. I thought it would be same every day, which is not actually truth, but yeah, that was my thought of it. So I thought, yes, maybe I should study career counseling, which is a little bit of psychology, and there's a lot of things that you can do on this area of expertise, but for me it's something that you come together with people and you have a lot of students to work with, young people who need help with their lives and such.
Very nice. And what does your role look like inside a Finnish high school? Can you describe us? And just a quick note in Greek, Επαγγελματικός προσανατολισμός, just a small translation so we are on the same page.
Yes. Okay. Actually, I do have a double role. I work as a career counselor or study counseling in high school, but I also do supervision and guidance of compulsory education in our municipality in Nokia, which is about 40,000 people living over there. That could be wrong, I'm not sure, but I think it's about that. And in our school, we have like 500 students or so. But in high school, I give some classes. I help people to find what they want to study during their high school, which is in Finland 3 years basically, or it could be longer. And then I help them during their journey when it's time to graduate, a year before that or anything, we take one-to-one conversations where we take a look of their deeper interests and what could they study later on, and are they interested in studying in university or maybe applied sciences or so. But yeah, we take a look at that, and I usually get to know my students really well because I see them every year for one-to-one conversations, but I also give some classes. We go to different schools, universities, vocational schools of applied sciences to, take a trip and take a look what you can study over there and such. So that's what I do basically in my high school work. But then, as I said, I work as a supervision and guidance of compulsory education in Nokia. And it means that there's actually it's under my supervision, they all are, but basically the people from 15 to 18 years are on my area of supervision, if you can say so. So every municipality has one in their municipality, but there can also be two or more. But in Nokia we have one, and it's me. But what I do, sorry.
That's great.
Yeah.
But
what I do is, if someone doesn't know where they want to study, or they don't go to school for some reason, they have a lot of, for instance, mental issues, or they haven't found their place yet, or they've been studying something else, but then they don't go to school and they need help and something like that, then I'm the one who takes care of them, basically. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. First of all, that in my perspective, because it's not very common in many countries that there is something like that. In Greece, we don't have something like this. So it's amazing, first of all, that the state thinks that they should be someone who will take care of that, which is really amazing. And secondly, it's very amazing how you do it, because I have seen you behind the scenes, and I find it very, very, very important what you're doing. And I also find it very difficult what you're doing mentally, because when you are constantly dealing with problems and you're trying your best, and not just your best, and you're arranging everything, I think it's I admire that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, can you describe us how it looks like your school day? So, how many hours you are in school? What is your academical backgrounds? And if someone is curious, how difficult or how easy it's to get to be admitted in that field in Finland?
What my days look like, every single day looks a bit different. You cannot really say what it looks like. I might have students coming, those one-to-one conversations of counseling sessions with me, and they last from, it depends on what we do. If we only change a course place to another place, then it takes 15 minutes, but it could also take an hour or longer. And yeah, that's one part of my job. And then I do a lot of some sort of thinking of how should I arrange my whole year, and that kind of a thing takes a lot of time. And for instance, I have to there's a lot of trips that we take in different places, and there is also people who we want to come to our school to tell the students that where they can study and how to apply and stuff like that. That takes a lot of time. And also networking takes a lot of time of my work. I do a lot of I work with vocational school career counselors who are actually next to my room, which is really nice because I do a lot of work with them. I have a lot of so-called hearings, which means that if someone is about to end their studies or hasn't come to school, then we have to have some sort of hearing where you invite the parents and the student, and they tell about the situation of the family and why the student hasn't come to school, or what could we do to make it easier, or is it even possible for him or her to study over there, and so on. And then we have to take care of the person's health care, because usually there are mental issues or something like that, why they can't come to school, or it's really hard to concentrate or something like that. So I do a lot of work with child welfare and also with our nursing people, school nurse, who is really nice. And there's also psychologists in our school, which is really nice, and I work with them. And then there's also a social worker in our school who I work with. And yeah, that's something that I do every day. And those are just few things that I do.
Yeah, it's very nice. And I think many people who are hearing us now will be thinking how amazing it is that there is a huge network behind every student. Like you have named how many professions that you have to take care. The other thing that I would like to point out, which I love it in Finland, is that you said that you organize your time. So we take responsibilities. And especially for you, because you have so many different fields and so many people, I admire how well organized you are, always well prepared many months ago, almost the whole year in advance. And I admire that also in Finnish education and for the old teachers. I like how independent they are and how responsible they are. And another comment that I would like to make is that you call the meeting with the parents and everybody. It's not like a meeting to say oh, you're bad, you haven't come, but you translate it from Finnish directly. You said it's a hearing. So
yeah,
And we are not putting you in that position that you have to be defending yourself, but we would like to hear how are you and why you are here, and like why things don't work, which I admire this philosophy.
Yeah, that is true. It doesn't really take you very long if you're just like, why didn't you come to school? You just have to try to find some sort of solutions for the things that are happening. And usually people don't want to come to school. They usually have a proper reason why they didn't come. It's either they have issues with something, their health or anything, or they don't like the area of studies that they are actually studying at the time. So that's also a problem, because nobody wants to study something that they hate. And that's an issue also.
That's amazing.
And that's also somewhere where we need counseling for. Like, if you have taken like a wrong course and you really don't want to, if you don't want to be a hairdresser, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be studying it for 3 years and then graduate. You should do something else at the time with your times. You shouldn't be studying something that isn't for you. And it's really, really important that you choose something that it's good for you and your future.
That's amazing.
Sorry.
That's amazing.
For being a career counselor, how I applied, I actually studied at the University of Eastern Finland in Joensuu, which is not very near of this place where I live right now. It is actually quite hard to get in, because there's only one university that gives this education, which has both like master's degree and bachelor's and master's degree. So there's only one university for that. You can also study to be a career counselor in a master's degree, but you have to have a bachelor's before. But I didn't have a bachelor before, so I had to do the whole thing, and it took 5 years, give or take. But it was pretty hard to get in, because you have to have either really good grades and then do really good with the interview, or if you don't have that good grades, then you have to do really, really good in an interview and the test that you have to take before you can get in. I really didn't have the problems with the interview part, because I really liked talking to people, so that was easy for me. But you need to be a certain kind of person to be a career counselor. You have to be interested in other people, and you have to be able to step in their shoes and think of them, look at the world of their perspectives. Otherwise, you cannot be a career counselor, because you need to have.
And I love that you said that. Actually, to be honest, Norris, just putting it nicely, it's very hard to get in, because I know from the inside, and it's amazing if you get in. And also, I like that you say that they have the interview, so it's not only about the grade, it's about the person behind.
Because with your grades you cannot really be good with people, so you have to take an interview to be sure that you are actually good with people and you can talk to people and so on.
Exactly the same process. Just a side note, they have almost the same for being a teacher, for the pedagogical studies, which I got I experienced, and I find it very important, something that doesn't happen in Greece. That's why I'm underlining it. So how would you describe the Finnish philosophy behind your role? I think we have already pretty much answered, but I would love still to maybe open up something else.
I would say that the philosophy of career counseling is putting people in the right places, because if you think about people and what makes people happy is that they do something that they really like and they love. If you see a person who has been doing some work that they hate for the whole of their life, and they're like, they hating it, then they're probably not too happy about their lives, and it affects on every single area of their lives. It affects on their relationships to their children and anything. So easiest way to make people happy is to put them in the right places where they can enjoy their lives and do anything that they're good at. And there's also a saying that people do the thing that they are second best. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, you should think that, are you doing in life something that you're actually second best? And what is the thing that you're actually the best? And could you do something to do that? Could you study a bit more? What would you do to make your dreams come true? What is that something that drives you, gets you up in the morning? Is there something that you do on your spare time that you would like to do every single day? because life goes so fast, and people should do the things they want to do, take the opportunities, take the trip, and go anywhere. Because doing nothing to make your life nicer is gonna just, it's gonna make you so dull, and you're not gonna be happy with yourself in the end.
That's true.
So that's, I think. And of course, there's a lot of other things that are actually philosophy. That was probably my philosophy. But the philosophy behind the career counseling in Finland is to get the people in the right places so you can save money. Blah blah blah. What can you?
Yeah, it's also actually practical. That's right.
Yeah,
it's open
that's
up
really
the philosophy and the very warm side of it, but it's also very practical for the government, because a person who is liking it, he's good on that job and he's doing it properly. So it does save a lot of money and a lot of energy, and things works, of course. So
Yes.
I like the practical side as well in that, because
I do like it. I do like it now. I do like it too, but there's like, of course, every single country wants to be like effective, and they want to be doing having people working and so on. So probably that's something why in Finland they want people to be in places where they can thrive and do better. Yeah,
that's great. So now we will change a bit, and we'll go to a bit, I think, more darker maybe side. You're working with the teenagers, the worst, I guess, age that you can work, the most difficult and I guess challenging people all over the planet, and everybody knows that. And so what are the biggest challenges that you face with the teenagers?
I think teenagers are maybe challenging, but they're also full of joy. They're full of interest on so many things. They have their whole life in front of them. So what people should understand, that teenagers are really affected by everything that they see, that they hear, that they read. And for now, I think the biggest problem is that they get too much of an information from the world, which makes them a bit depressed, and they are not too excited about their future, because there is a lot of wars and such things right now, as you know, climate change and everything. And I know everybody has heard this like 1,000 times, but it's truth, and it's actually affecting people.
Yeah, and when you're in your beginning, of course, it affects you even more.
Yeah, and the thing is that young people should believe in their future. And my most important thing in my work is to make them believe in their future and themselves, because otherwise we don't have a future. They're the people who are going to take care of our planet and everything.
How do you do it? How you do it, Nora?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is to just be there for that minute and that second, and be on that, enjoy the moment, and try to make them enjoy the moments over there, and teach them some skills to, not to carry all the weight of the world on their shoulders. And that is really important that they need to do. They need to be critical on media, and they also have to put it away sometimes. Actually, Australia did something that they banned the social media from 16 and under. So that was actually quite smart, because this is like the information is too much for us, for adults. So what do you think that people who aren't actually ready for being adults should think of this? They are not ready. They are still growing. They have a lot of things going on their mind, and they have a lot of pressure from high school, from their parents, from everywhere. You should be this, you should be that, you should be anything. And then in the end, they're just children who want to do their best. So what can I do? I can the most important thing would be that I look at their eyes, I welcome them, I be very warm person that they can talk anything with. Because in our school, it's really crowded. There's a lot of people all the time. You cannot be really in a silence for even a minute, only in a bathroom, basically. So It's a place where you can calm down and be yourself, and
Share your thoughts.
and tell anything that is been on your mind and where you need help. It's not just that, okay, I want to know what do you want to be when you're adults. It's something that, what do you do in your life right now? What makes you happy? What makes you enjoy this and this? Do you have enough friends? How is your family? How is things going?
Yes.
It's really important that some people are interested in our youth, because if we are not, they're just gonna feel that they are numbers, and it's not good for them.
Yeah.
People
And
need
for
to
us
be
as well.
appreciated. Sorry?
Yeah. And for us as well, because if they are numbers, we become also
Yes.
just like expiring numbers, actually.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We have to find something that is meaningful for them, and so that they feel meaning in their life, because everybody is, in the end, finding a meaning of their lives. If you think of it, everybody's thinking the whole life. They're thinking, what should I do next? What should I do? Is this that I do? Is this really good for me? Is this meaningful?
That's true. And that's the journey, which is very nice. But I loved about your job when I came, like I have come to your office many times, but what I
Yes.
love a lot is your cards. I like that when the students come and you, like first time, for everybody who is listening, when I walked to her office and I saw some cards, like game cards, and I was like, okay, what's that? Are we playing games here? She was like, yes, to open up the students, we are playing games so they can feel, and of course the cards has a meaning and has a deeper emotion. Talk a bit about this kind of approach, which I find very interesting and very meaningful as well.
Unfortunately, I don't have my cards with me today, but
Don't worry, we will add them in the edit.
Yes. But when people come to your office and you're the first person, they usually are a bit shy, and they never been in a high school before when they first come to me, and in their first year, and it's like the first month or second month of their high school year. So they are really shy usually, and they don't know that they can talk to me like as a person who really wants to hear of them. They think that this is what I've experienced. They usually think that I'm some sort of adult who is in some sort of how to describe it. Let me think. Like I would be asking them to explain me something that they really don't want to do. It's like not an interview, but some sort of
investigation.
I don't know how to.
Investigation, like police investigation.
Yeah, maybe investigation. Yeah, that could be one word for it. Yes. So they're sitting over there, and then they're shy and maybe shaking a little, and then they're like, why I have to be here and everything, and then if I can distract them from the situation to do anything else, like look at these feelings or look at these pictures, what do you think of this? And then they would be like, they don't think about the pressure of the situation no more. They think that, okay, there's a picture of a silly wolf being goofy, and I can ask, for instance, that what kind of a feeling you have today. And some people look at them and I'm really tired. And then, why are you really tired? Well, I couldn't sleep because I was so excited about today, blah, blah, blah. And then you already have a conversation where to start. So you don't really have to be asking a lot of questions, which makes them even more uncomfortable. But they're bringing it there on their own.
That's great. I love that approach, and I find it very nice. And your cards with wolves, I will put in the edit the picture of them. They are amazing, and as well, there are many different cards with the nature. They are very nice. So there is for every kind of taste and for every kind of situation. It's great. How heavy or emotionally you feel your job is? Do you feel it's because me as an outsider, I see the emotions behind the scenes. Do you feel it like this? Do you feel that your job is really meaningful and also emotionally heavy, or not?
When I started my job, it was more heavy for me, but I've been doing it for 5 years now, which isn't too long, but I've been kind of like used to it. But it still breaks my heart every now and then. It depends on the people who I'm working with, because everybody has their own problems and their own situation. It's always really cheerful to, have a conversation with someone and they know what they want to do, or help them to find what they want to do. It's really nice. But that's not all the things that I do. I work a lot with child welfare, and also there's a lot of people who don't have their things too well, and they really do have there are a lot of students who live in a foster care, and they have a lot of problems, such as they do drugs, or they've seen something that they shouldn't have been seen. For instance, some of the deers have been killed or anything like that. That's really, really bad. And also there are students that have so bad mental issues that they cannot go to school, or they are sleeping during the whole day because they have so bad hallucinations during the night that they cannot go to school. So such situations makes me really sad, because I know that there isn't a lot that I can do for the situation, and I hope that there would be more help for them. Also, mental issues are one of the biggest problems in youth nowadays. And the thing is that, for instance, people who have anxiety and they can't come to school, they have panic attacks, and they are socially, somehow they don't want to be in a social situations. It's hard for them. For those, going to school is not an option, and there's something that our government and every school needs to think of, and been thinking of lately. There's
And I guess it has become even worse after COVID. I feel that, right?
Yeah.
Because it makes it much worse.
Yeah, it does. And also the thing that we don't really have the proper healthcare for those people. They need more help that they can get. There isn't enough psychologists to go to, and they have to wait for seeing a doctor or seeing a specialist for too long. For instance, if you wait for 6 months to see a specialist or see a psychologist, you can imagine how it gets worse and worse and worse. For instance, if you break your leg, you would never wait 6 months to get it fixed, right? So how can you expect a young person who doesn't really know anything about life yet? I mean, anything,
Yeah.
which I mean, they don't have
The
such an experience of having hard times as older people do, but it's just not fair.
How often students can book time, and how often usually students book a time with you?
Yeah, what do you mean? How often in a year?
Do they come every day? Can someone come every day just to chat around, or every month? How often usually that happens?
I usually see the minimum is that I see every student of mine one time at the year, but it never is like that. You see everybody mostly more. Some people don't necessarily come that often. Those are the ones that I see only the minimum. But usually there are a certain percentage of people who want to come more often, and I see them for at least like few times in a month or more. It depends on what kind of issues they have.
Yeah.
And also, now that I'm a health educator also, and I'm a sexologist now. I did this education on sexual health, and so I'm a sexologist now. And
It's
I
very
have
clear.
also-
Tell more, because I would ask you later, but now when you mention it, tell more. Is it possible in Finland, while you are working, to get something else, and how can you do it? Is it really in the mentality, or is it like people, they believe that, okay, I learned that for 20 years ago, I just do this, I don't involve, and I don't become better, I'm just doing that. Tell us, if first of all, if it's easy to get to do something and to learn more, and secondly, how did you end up and thought that, okay, I will do this kind of thing as well, and how easy or difficult it is to do it while you're working at the same time?
You can do many kind of education, but usually people don't do the same thing for 30 years. Some people do. Some people want to do what they have studied for in university and been teaching, and they want to teach for the rest of their lives. But also they can do studying books and anything like that. There are some people in our school that do books for students, and also and you can study basically anything, but it's up to boss how they want to manage it.
So that's very interesting, and I think it's something that young people will admire and will appreciate on you. And I have seen many times how important your role is for the young students, because they always come to you. And since, side note, in Finland you have the right, students have the right that they can choose courses. So basically they choose teachers, and Nora is the responsible one to change them. So my question is, how easy or difficult is to keep a balance between students and teachers? Because in the end you are there to help everybody, but how easily is to keep that balance when someone is telling I don't want to go to his class? Like, how do you handle those situations?
First of all, I think we have really great teachers in our school. So the most important thing is not to take sides, because then you're in a bad situation. But I do understand that sometimes it's easier to learn from someone who teaches exactly the way that you understand. So in those situations, if it's possible to change the class, then I would do it, of course. But if it's not possible, then what can I do? But usually people don't do it only for fun. They usually have a proper reason for it. It's not like, I hate that teacher. It's never like that. It's usually because they know that they learn best from some teacher, or they have had it have the same teacher for like 5 classes before, so they want to do it again, and they kind of become familiar, so obviously they want to take it. It's that's reasonable.
One question also about the parents. Do parents book times with you to see you? How often you see them? Are they involved a lot? Do you see them like in school life every day or every now and then?
With my high school job, I don't see them so often, but I do. I usually do write some emails with them, and I talk to them on the phone, but they don't necessarily come to my office so often. But sometimes they do, and if we have a little bit harder situation, then there is. We do have this meetings where there are the student and the parents and or the caretaker, whoever it is, and also teachers and. I'm usually there, and then there's usually psychologist or the social worker of the school. It depends on the problem what the student has.
Yeah.
So we
try to
solve.
Everybody's there for them. It's great.
But when it comes to my students on supervising for compulsory education, I do see parents mostly, not every single time, but every second, I say. Because I want to see the student obviously without them, without the parents, because they are usually a bit different when there aren't parents around. But I also want to know what the parents think. So I see them a lot, and I call them a lot, and I text them a lot. So I usually do that every single day.
Yeah. Very nice, very, very interesting. Can you give one advice to the Greek parents, if you would give one advice to parents generally, or to Greek parents if you have like any kind of idea from your trip last time that you were here, or anything like what would be your advice to parents?
I would say that listen to your children, try to get to know them. I know that many parents basically every parent wants good for their children, but the thing is that people have to make a difference between their own dreams and goals and their children's dreams and goals. They aren't necessarily the same, and that makes a huge clash between them, and it's not really good. So if I could give one advice, it would be that listen to your children and support them as well as you can.
That's lovely.
But also you have to be you have to make sure that they do things, because also young people might have this some sort of phase where they don't want to do anything, and that's not good. So you need to be supportive, but you also have to push them a bit, but not towards your own goals, but towards their own goals, and believe in them.
That's really nice. So now we are coming into the end, and I would like to first of all thank you for your time. It's really nice that you're here, and I would like to say that I truly admire your warmth and your softness that you bring to work and to your relationships generally. I love your empathy. I love your patience, because I have seen it, on the spot. And I love a lot the way how students talk to you and how they are feeling safe. and how deeply you're all investing in that, in your work and in your emotions. And of course, I'm very happy and I admire you as my friend, and I'm very thankful that you're part of my life. And now, before I get emotional, I will move to the next part with the signature questions. So for every guest, I will ask the same 3 questions, and we'll see how you will answer. So, what is the moment in your childhood that shaped who you are today? If you pick one.
This is probably the hardest question the whole day. Who I become today. I think it had to do something with my grandpa. I always wanted to make him really proud of me, and I wanted to be honest person who does their work really well, and I wanted to be really good what I'm doing. My grandpa was a very kind and warm person, and I love him a lot. And he was someone who went through war, and he still was the most loving father for my mom and my uncle. So yeah, I think that he has been someone that I always look up to, and he taught me that you have to be honest and you have to do everything to be good at what you're doing. So that's probably one thing. Yeah,
that's very lovely. Second one, what fear have you had to unlearn as an adult?
What fear have I had? I think that I had the fear of, because I'm really, I talk a lot and I do things the way I do. So I was thinking what people think of me and can I be who I am? But I had to learn that I have to love myself for who I am, because otherwise I cannot teach that to younger people. And how can I believe something if I don't believe it myself? And also there's another thing that I learned, that key to everything is kindness. And that's something that I didn't fear, but I had to learn it.
That's lovely, very lovely. What does home means to you?
Home isn't place for me. It has never been a place for me. It's the people, and it's the surroundings and the peace of mind. And for people who, for instance, suffer for domestic violence, they should think of, or they should is the wrong word, but I think everybody has to try to find a place where they feel safe, and it's usually inside your head. And we've been talking about it a lot during our friendship, and I think we have found the safe places with each other before I even had my spouse, but we did have home. Yeah. So yeah, it's something that it makes me cry too. It's too sad, but it's the place where you feel safe.
Yeah, of course I got very emotional because I remember of many conversations that we had, not only in a personal level, but also with students, and through your work and through difficult cases that we have been talking through. So of course, this specific topic got me a bit more emotional. But I would like to thank you a lot for being here and for having that journey, actually. It meant a lot to me, and I hope you guys as well enjoyed it. And from that, I want to show also a different side, because, you know, in social media, everybody has their role, and in 1.5 minutes, you don't have so much time to open up or maybe cry. So it's nice to see the other side of the personality who is standing or talking to you. So now I will also make the closing in Greek. So Nora, thank you hugely for being here. Και τώρα σε όλους εσάς, σε ευχαριστώ που ήσουν εδώ, που πήρες λίγα λεπτά για εσένα, για να ακούσεις, να σκεφτείς, να πάρεις μια ανάσα μέσα στη μέρα σου. Ίσως το παιδί σου να μην μάθει ποτέ ότι άκουσες αυτό το επεισόδιο, αλλά να είσαι σίγουρος ότι θα το νιώσει. στον τρόπο που μιλάς, στον τρόπο που κοιτάς, στην ηρεμία που φέρνεις στο σπίτι. Αν κάτι σήμερα σου έκανε ένα κλικ, κράτησέ το. Άφησε το να καθίσει λίγο μέσα σου και να σε αλλάξει όσο χρειάζεται. Αυτό έστω το 1%. Γιατί τα παιδιά μας δεν χρειάζονται τέλειους γονείς. Χρειάζονται γονείς που είναι εκεί, που προσπαθούν, που μεγαλώνουν μαζί τους βήμα-βήμα. Χαίρομαι πραγματικά που είμαστε σε αυτό το ταξίδι μαζί. Μέχρι την επόμενη φορά. Να είσαι τρυφερός με τον εαυτό σου. Να είσαι υπομονετικός με το παιδί σου και να θυμάσαι, κάθε μέρα γινόμαστε. Γεια σας!
Thank you.
Thank you. It was lovely having you.
Thank you for having me.